This is Offers free ASMR. Hello, my people of the internet. It's Cody Gamesel. Or should I say King Cody now? Alright, let's get into the scoop. We are watching this video from the actman. It's 31 minutes. This is probably going to be an hour. Fuck me silly.
There's nothing that's more difficult for me than disappointing the Xbox community.
Xbox has been...
I'm not an Xbox user, but holy shit, Xbox has been taking L. Oh, get the fuck out of here. L on L on L on L on L. Yo, bro, PlayStation has been making Xbox look like a bitch. I mean that. Look at him. The sorrow. Now it's not a bad time to be a PS4.
in the freaking dirt for years now. And at this point, I don't know what it's going to take for these suckers to start finally picking up those broken pieces and rebuilding themselves back up into the brand that we used to know with the Xbox 360.
They shut down.
Was the Xbox 360 really that good? I wasn't there for the Xbox 360. I was born in 2008, so I'm just now 16. I wasn't born during that, so if the Xbox 360 was when Xbox was at its peak, I don't know. Someone tell me in the comment section.
Not one, not two, not three, but 4 studios.
And that
Hold on, 4 studios.
means that Xbox has now closed
Charlie!
more studios than its released games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Way I see it, best thing we can do is let the week go. Move on, get our money, start over.
This is a studio that was on the rise. You can tell they're very talented. They knocked it out of the park with Hi-Fi Rush.
I know the story. I heard this first part. Man, I'm so pissed. You wanna know why I'm pissed? I was wanting to see like a Hi-Fi Rush 2 or something like that. Maybe like a Hi-Fi Rush but a prequel or something. Or some sort of half sequel or something. This game, it was special. And I wanted to play it the moment I watched it. No matter what, I was going to give Xpad, the developers, and Xbox my cash for this game. Because it's such a fucking good game. But they shut down the studio. I'm so mad.
Xbox, some of the best press they've received in a while. And what does Microsoft do? Gaming.
And the Game Award goes to Hi-Fi Rush.
Not that you care too much about that, you rats. All of you.
When Tango wants to go do Hi-Fi, when everybody probably thought they were doing Evil Within 3, I want to give the teams the creative platform to go and push their ability, push their aspirations.
You're all liars, and all goodwill is now completely thrown out the window. I am now back to being extremely skeptical about Xbox.
So the idea of flushing a humongous amount of their pool of talent down the toilet right now at a time when they need games more than ever?
Look at this shit. Look at this. It shows you Sony is doing this to Xbox. Fight back. Let's be honest. Nintendo Switch has got the most loyal fan base. They will always make money. But this
absurd. It's beyond absurd.
It feels like the final straw. I've never seen this much criticism and negativity surrounding Xbox right now.
Yeah, Xbox just goes so. Tango fucking game works. They made one of the best games ever. Best games I've seen in my life. I was going to play it at some point. I hope I still can. And then they just killed the studio. Come on!
Because of what they've just done.
It's not that hyperbolic to say that Xbox did die a little bit. It died in my heart a little bit.
I don't get you. Don't get you no more.
Microsoft is in a situation where I really feel like they have no idea what to actually do with their brand anymore.
Oh, the doubting. The doubting.
When you have a successful studio, when you have a successful game.
Tango Games. When you have this studio right here, Tango Gameworks, that made this game. It was good, popular, people liked it. And you just shut them fucking down. What are you guys doing?
And you still get completely shut down.
You did everything right.
Everybody laid off. You did everything right. What does that tell future people that work for Microsoft, that get purchased by Microsoft?
Means no one's safe.
If these two aren't safe with a $3 trillion company backing them, nobody is safe. Nobody in the games industry is safe. No studio you love is safe. Everyone is at risk of being shut down.
It's just good business. This is a world where nothing is solved. And someone once told me time is a flat circle.
I agree.
What's up, everybody? This is the actman here, and today, in this video, you will learn why the Xbox brand is failing, why they're not producing or releasing many top-tier titles anymore, how Phil Spencer's Game Pass business model is inherently flawed, and why nearly all of the major franchises from the 360 era are either dead on life support or taking an indefinite vacation. Happy times! Today you will learn why the Xbox continues its never-ending decline. Are you ready to stop being a casual? Studies show that
I'm sorry, bro. I'm not here for the ad.
GX Games.
Yo, Opera GX got caught up. Last time I heard they got caught up.
When I made this video 4 years ago, I thought 4 years later, things would get better. They have not. Recently, IGN...
Wait, what?
I thought 4 years later,
I haven't watched this. I should have watched it.
They have not. Recently, IGN reported that Microsoft is shutting down multiple studios, including Arcane Austin, developers of Redfall, Alpha Dog Games.
Good shutdown, by the way. Never played Redfall, but that shit was ass from what I saw.
The developers of Ghostwire Tokyo, Evil Within 1 and 2, and Hi-Fi Rush were shut down. Tango Gameworks. This is a character...
This fucking... studio should have been left. Leave it alone. It's making you money. Why you gotta shut it down? But no, it's just good business.
Defining choice for Microsoft and Xbox. When faced with this moral dilemma, they did not tag along with John. They went back for the money. This is, of course, devastating for the people who work at these studios, but Microsoft was there to make us chuckle a little bit by launching a brand new controller. Feel the burn.
So, you want to know if I can feel it?
But to all the unfortunate developers who were laid off, at least Microsoft is giving you this fancy backpack and some...
You know how fast I would have burned that in a fire? I would take that shirt, put that shit right here, go outside, take a lighter, put some lighter fluid on that bit, throw that lighter in there, and I would watch it burn. I would call the fire department. I would take my hose, pour that shit, send the ashes back to them, and tell them with a nicely neat note telling them to go fuck themselves.
You want merch from the company that just laid you off? Now, if your brain is hurting already, don't worry. The pain is going to get much worse, to the point where you too will develop a tumor so debilitating that you qualify for a position in Xbox leadership. It's going to take time to fully understand how mind-boggling these shutdowns are and what a terrible impact this is likely to have on Microsoft and Xbox in the future. Well, in my opinion, Xbox has had 11 great, phenomenal years and 11 years of getting shit-faced at the bar, constantly telling everyone they're gonna be back on top. And I think I've finally seen through all the lies and deception that I've been told by Xbox leadership. The stuff that I bought into, I think I've finally unplugged from all of that. Xbox has become so far detached from what initially drew me to it that I can't even describe what the brand is anymore.
Holy shit.
I can tell you what it used to be. Xbox was the console that proved we Americans could do it too. Not...
To be fair, we can, but I don't trust Xbox. Look, as much as I like eating food, I just can't see me trusting fucking Xbox. Microsoft suck. You fucking suck at making games. You fucking suck. How do you fuck up so fucking badly? And we don't even have to talk about Halo and 343. The next piece of shit on the floor. That's another piece of dog shit on the floor right there. But Microsoft has been shitting the bed. Now I go look at Sony and it's like, wow, that looks awesome. Meanwhile, Xbox. Can anyone tell me when they made a good release? Like, what Xbox games are popping? I don't know anything. I heard God of War is on PlayStation. You see, I don't even know what Xbox game is popping, and I want to be a PC, and I'm going to be a PC head pretty soon. So what the fuck, man?
Not just the Japanese, we could do it too. Xbox was a place for the wackiest, most creative, niche games, a stunning variety that covered pretty much every genre imaginable, from snowboarding to boat combat. Xbox was a massive innovator in online gaming, couch co-op, graphics, fidelity, performance, and it pushed the technical limitations of the time. But if you ask me to describe what Xbox is now, I would say it's not Xbox. This is Microsoft Gaming. Welcome.
Go back to the tweet. What?
Not Xbox. This is Microsoft. Gaming. Welcome to Microsoft Gaming. Would you like to purchase one entertainment product? And even Seamus Blackley, the creator of the original Xbox, laments this revelation as well. Today, Xbox is like an amorphous blob, an all-consuming.
It is. But Xbox Game Pass is ridiculous.
Void hell-bent on assimilating as many studios as possible to throw their games on Game Pass and then discard the studios. In other words,
you get bought by Xbox, you're fucked.
Majin Buu. Today,
except for if Majin Buu couldn't, box Goku.
Xbox is a brand that can't see past its own nose. They can't see anything beyond immediate, short-term gain, because the Activision Blizzard acquisition was $70 billion.
And let's just talk about the shit show that's here. This game is dying, or at least dead by a lot of people's standards. I'm sure Warcraft has a thing. This game, people hate this game. But it's one of the biggest games in the world. Of course it is. Call of Duty will never change. Diablo 4. It's basically a ghost town. Overwatch 2. They fucked all goodwill with the few words that the DLC was not coming out. I'm gonna be real. They haven't released something from this franchise in God knows long time. And King can go suck his own fat dick. This is just a mobile game company.
That is putting some eyes on Xbox and what they're doing. They need to start producing results. Xbox leadership is in a tight spot, so they're looking for short-term solutions, and they're sabotaging their own efforts to foster long-term successful IPs. You see, Microsoft has all these different studios that they've acquired, and they have huge pools of talent.
I didn't know they fucking owned the Gran Turismo shit
under their umbrella. But isn't it odd that a $3 trillion software company could have so much trouble creating software? Seriously, man, why is every single
Go back.
trouble creating software? Seriously, man.
This bitch was ugly as hell. If this is the Fable that was supposed to come out, that shit was ugly, girl. Google Playground's inexperience.
Why is every...
Of course, it's a former designer. It's always the veteran developers leaving and going, yeah, this shit's stupid.
Single Xbox game?
Perfect Dark reboot. It's good that you see two reboots here to show you the state of the gaming industry. Reboot it now! Reboot it! The reboot comes out.
Game I'm excited for, delayed.
Everwild. This looks pretty cool. It's a shame. I probably won't come out.
Rebooted, going through development troubles, or
State of Decay. What the hell is this?
Announced 5 years ago and then never talked about again. Well, I'll answer that question later in this video. The point is, the one studio that seemingly had their shit together, Tango Gameworks, a studio based in Japan, a market that Xbox has consistently failed to break into, who just released a Game Award winning, critically acclaimed title.
Man, I'm still pissed at this. This was the one game that made me want to buy something. I never knew they were owned by Xbox. Xbox was going to halve my money in probably 2 or 3 months. Because I was going to buy this game. There was nothing stopping me. But damn it, can I even buy it anymore? And I really don't want to support this, well, not this face, but the other fuck face that's hiding behind the screen. What is his name? Phil Spencer? I don't want to support that nigga.
This is the studio you get rid of? Excuse me one moment.
Exactly. They don't know what the fuck they doing.
Nope. Still doesn't make sense. I didn't kill enough brain cells.
Congratulations! Sir, you have just given me my $1 million!
Huh, great. What do I win?
Nothing!
I couldn't hold that one back. I could laugh more, but damn. Make such a good game, and they don't win shit. You know, this fucking studio could have been out. Making more games, making you more money. You shut it down. Not to mention they were in Japanese. You know, Japan, the market you can't get in, you fucking fools. Who at Xbox made this decision? This might be one of the stupidest decisions of all time.
Now get out!
What?
Get the fuck out!
If we reduce the number of employees for better short-term financial results, employee morale will decrease. I sincerely doubt employees who fear that they may be laid off will be able to develop software titles that could impress people around the world. Where did this quote come from? Well, would you look at that? It's former Nintendo CEO Satoru Iwata, who said this after taking a 50% pay cut after the financially disastrous launch of the Wii U, so he wouldn't have to lay off any staff. Anybody at Microsoft or Xbox willing to take a pay cut?
No, it's never gonna happen. Our greed is too deep for that shit to happen. Or it's America, bro. The richest country in the world, some full of all the rich billionaires. You think Phil Spencer's gonna take a fucking pay cut? Hell no. He's lying in his pot of gold chairs and with pot of gold and his gold and jar full of employees' hopes and dreams as he dashes them away with one word, with a few types on his keyboard and a note, laid off. Here's a fucking sweater, bitch.
To keep this incredible studio around? Anybody? Anyone?
You and Microsoft Games CEO Phil Spencer have been raising kind of the alarm that the video game industry is just not growing, and there's a real need to figure out how to reverse that. What's causing the...
Okay, here's why. The video game industry is growing, but also not. Here's what I gotta say. I want to pull up a chart for this, but I don't want to do that. So what I mean by this is that it was good in 2020. 2020 to 2022, all new games were coming out. People were playing. Everyone was stuck in a house, you know. That was peak. You want to know why the gaming industry isn't growing? People had their fun. And this was during the period where everyone was fucking bored. As you see with my cursor here, it's making a line. So everything was going good. Then we hit 2023. Things are starting to slow down. 2024, now it's going worse. I'm not surprised for certain game studios having to take the ideas to just lay off a bunch of people like that. But Microsoft is so stupid. This is the one studio you shouldn't have never laid off or shut down.
The issue, and how does Xbox turn it around?
Yeah, the last year or so in video games, largely the industry's been flat.
Is that
I think Sarah Bond might be a fucking idiot.
who I think it is? Why, yes, it's Capcom celebrating their 7th
consecutive year of record high profits. Man, it feels so good. I'm getting Street Fighter 6 in a few months.
consecutive year of record high profits. They're making more money than they ever have before in the company's 44-year history. What's their secret?
What? It's like they made good games? Wow! It's like Street Fighter 6, RE4, was it the RE4 the remake? I probably got that wrong. It's like Street Fighter, RE4, all these good games. They got Dragon's Dogma coming out. I want to know if that's good. They've got it coming out. Good shit after good shit after good shit. And it's like, people like these games. It's like, why can't you be like Capcom? Why can't you make games that the players like? Instead of making shit about. What do you gain by that?
Video game sales?
It's
impossible.
What's this? Salary increases for all
wow.
employees?
No!
Surely Capcom has to be like a $4 trillion company to afford such extravagant treatment for their employees and staff, right? Oh God! Oh!
Holy shit! Damn, they're not even in the top 1,000. Yeah, this team can afford a 28% increase in revenue for employees. That's awesome. Capcom has made a turn as of the past few years. Like Street Fighter 5 was ass, let's be honest. But they've been hit after hit after hit. Nothing's stopping them. Why? Because they make good games.
Oh no, oh holy shit, oh this. This is what you don't get.
Look at this. 28 percent. Oh gee golly, how would a company be able to afford that? Hot Pocket.
Was there only one in the wizard?
It's on the charger, and yes, there's still one in the oven.
Yeah, Xbox and Microsoft.
Yeah, it's on the oven on a plate. It's done already.
This is also why you haven't and why you will probably never break into the Japanese market. Make good product, sell product, make money back, pay him.
Wow, it's simple. It's so simple. It's almost like a child can understand. You make a good game, you make money. You make a bad game, you don't make money. And that's the thing. You'll never break into a type of market like that. Because I don't know about you, but I don't think Japanese people are the nicest when things aren't going their way. Or when something that's made bad for them aren't the way. Am I being racist for saying these? I don't know. But Japanese guys, please, girls, whoever the you are, come at me and tell me.
Employees who make good product are happy and keep working on next product.
Yeah.
Slow down there, Actman. It's a little too complicated, okay? Microsoft, being as big as they are, probably thinks they can toss out whoever they want and throw a bunch of money at a replacement, and that solves the issue.
I just don't think we're all interchangeable. I think things change when you change the people. That's why my motto is always be nice to the goose, is because I think the goose that lays the golden egg, it's not the egg that you need to care about, it's the goose, and the goose is the team.
We're seriously talking about mistakes that continue
I agree
to
with
be
everything
made
you say.
Since 2007, Microsoft is no...
I'm going to clean my hands off real quick. I'll be back. And you'll see a click when to flick this wrist. I think a big problem with American game developers is this: money over stability. It's why I probably, if I became a game developer, I'd be more likely to learn Japanese and go work for Capcom. Because my skill set would be unique. Would be unique in the fact that I know English. It'd be better for me to go learn Japanese and go to Capcom or a Japanese developer of any kind. Because these developers treat their employees, well, rather nice. At least Capcom does. Coming around to, it's like, what reason would I have to go work at something like Microsoft or PlayStation? We're not
Notorious
PlayStation.
for killing every golden goose they get their hands on. Phil Spencer praised Hi-Fi Rush and said that players could expect to see more AAA titles from Japan.
What is going on, Phil? What is happening to us? What's happening to you?
This is the first of many problems with the Tango shutdown. Microsoft is once again closing the doors on the Japanese market. Now, only Japanese developers who want to commit seppuku are likely to work with them. This is all besides the point.
Yes. They just cut down a golden goose, and I'm sure the Japanese market looking like this at like, what the fuck? Yo, why would we work with you? You guys said all this good shit and then didn't do anything. You just cut the goose from the sheep. Why would I work with you?
The Tango Gameworks was extremely talented. They were founded by Shinji Mikami for Leon Kennedy's sake.
Shinji Mikami? Oh my, this is a sell even worse than I thought it was. No fucking way. Why? You had a golden goose. No, you had a fucking God Star. The gold is there. All you needed to do was keep it together and not hit the button. But instead, you didn't listen. Now you'll never get a Japanese developer better than fucking Shinji Mikami. How the fuck do you fuck that up? I'm gonna get demonetized.
Before, what did he have to say about Tango's shutdown? Sad. Here's the thing, not every studio is capable of tackling different genres to the same level of success. A lot of them get stuck doing the same thing. So when a studio like Tango is able to swap from horror to action rhythm beat 'em up, and it turns out amazing, you've got some serious talent and creativity over there. You should nurture this golden goose, and you strangled it again. But let's hear Microsoft's side of the story, because there has to be a good explanation for this, right? So Matt Booty is the head of Xbox Game Studios, and he was the one who sent out the email to staff informing them of the shutdowns. Today I'm sharing changes we are making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games. I posted this video at the perfect time. It's just like I told you. They're going bigger games, bigger budgets, doubling down on established IPs, no new creative ideas.
It pisses me off. I really want to get out of the Tango Gameworks shit, but they were surviving off of new IPs. It's almost like the indie game market hasn't been like fucking up the mainstream market for a while now. You can tell there's a lot of heavy hitters in the indie game market that have been coming out as of late. And it's like, wow, they even got their own fucking initiative now. Where you can probably post games and get people to look at that shit. And it's like, when I look at this now, I'm like, this is something special. This right here, special. Now I look at this shit on the side, and I go, why aren't you just making new IPs? What's so hard about it? We're taking a risk, we're losing resources. What resources? You have boundless pockets. You got the bag, the purse of infinite holding right here. And then you cut Tango, company that was succeeding off of differing genres. You know how rare that is? And then, all of a sudden, you had to cut off your one golden goose that was just starting to bloom golden eggs. You cut them off, killed the golden goose, and then, you want to double down. You know how good that's worked out for all people that have doubled down? The double down strategy usually never works. If you're going to double down, you better be prepared for the blowback. And this is exactly, Microsoft was never prepared for it. It's a shame. Shinji Mikami, man, they had that nigga on this team, or this game studio. I cannot believe you sold the bag so hard. This is just a different level of sell. I cannot believe
Ideas
it.
just stick with what's safe. We're gonna make fewer games with longer development times. Yes! Yes! The release schedule was too fast for Xbox's first-party titles. We need to slow it down more. Fun fact, video game production cycles have gotten so long that if a big-budget game studio started working on a brand new project today, it would likely be for the PS6. Fuck!
It's like, please stop making games bigger. It's not good. It was never good in the first place. Stop making them bigger. Make them smaller. It's easier. You make more. It's less money being spent in the chug, only for it to not turn out well. It's so hard for these companies to go, but I like money. Here's the strategy. Make smaller games. The more smaller games you make, it's easier for you to make money. Then you line your hands with a pot of gold. Your gold coin fills up because even if some of these fail, you can make a big hit. Tango Gameworks is a quite good example. But then you had to cut them off. So now I have no idea of a good Xbox game of all time. It's an all-time shit show. I've never had an idea of what game that Xbox makes good. Because I'm leaning towards none.
Yes, I'm so excited for this game that had a cringy trailer 4 years ago, and yes, I'm
Show
so
me
excited
this
for this game that
ugly
had a
character.
cringy.
Holy shit. This might be the ugliest girl protagonist in a fantasy-like story ever. This face has been memed and I've seen it a couple times. Holy shit. How do you make her look more like a guy than a girl? She is so fucking ugly that this guy right here looks better than her. This guy in here, this guy in the back, these blurred faces look better than her. This girl right here looks better than her. How the fuck you look more like a cock than a pussy?
Trailer 4 years ago and haven't heard anything since. I'm so fucking hyped for it. Wait a sec. Prioritizing high impact titles. That's bizarre terminology.
High impact!
I've never heard before. That's what it is, because they wanted to have a high impact on Game Pass subscriptions, which have been declining steadily recently. Surely Microsoft isn't putting all their eggs in one basket and betting big on Game Pass, right? To double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across the business to identify the opportunities best positioned for success. Do you have dementia? You're looking to invest in successful new...
Invest into PlayStation, Xbox Game Pass. No. I'm not doing it. No. It's not happening. Why double down on Xbox Game Pass? A thing you keep expanding, keep losing money for having. Shut it down! Shut it down!
New IPs? Does he know?
Yes,
Is this
does
head
he
of
know?
Xbox Game Studios? And he doesn't even know what Hi-Fi Rush is? What? Hold on.
Yes, fuck,
No matter how many times he hits himself with this book, it will make it the harder, it's still so hard to understand that with no brain cells in my brain, I couldn't understand. It's so hard for me to just understand what was the decision making, what went here, why, what was this for. I'm losing my mind trying to understand, and
it's starting to make sense now. Everything's coming together exactly as I planned.
It all makes sense now.
No, it damn well doesn't.
But on the real, this is a really bad sign when, like, the same day you're shutting down a studio you're looking for, you say you're looking for studios, just like the one you shut.
There's no way you're looking for studios. You just shut down 4 studios. Hey, you're looking for studios. Oh my God. There's copious amounts of shit here. There's copious amounts. How the fuck? You're looking for studios. And you just shut down studios. It's like you shut down Tango Studios. Now I look at this and go, why as a company, why as a game developer and as a company would I ever want to be working with Xbox? Why would I ever want to do that? Why? I might as well publish it myself. I might as well do it myself. Because you don't know why? Xbox ain't worth it. Xbox is never worth it. It was never worth your time.
Shut down, so you can't really trust Xbox leadership when
this guy, you never
they
can't
say
trust
stuff
him.
like this. And what you'll find throughout a lot of their statements is that they contradict their actions all the fucking time. Also, we have to look across the business to identify the best opportunities? You don't have to. Just look at a tweet from your vice president of marketing. Hi-Fi Rush was a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango delivered with this surprise release. Overwhelmingly.
Look at this! Look at this! It's like, listen to your fucking marketing guy. He knows what he's fucking talking about.
Positive reviews on Steam and Metacritic. Best audio design at the Game Awards. This is like getting straight A's.
Bro, all
and your
those
principal
Hi-Fi
says
Rush
you need to
music
be held
songs
back in school.
were fire.
Like, what the fuck? We are making these.
Hold on.
Steam and Metacritic. Best audio design at the Game Awards. This is like getting straight A's and your principal says you need to be held back in school. Like, what the fuck? We're making these tough decisions to create capacity to increase investment in other parts of our portfolio and focus on our priority games. Tough decisions? We have more than enough money to buy.
What priorities? What? Halo? That's your only priority. I can't name any other Microsoft Xbox game ever. None of your games are priorities. 343 shit the bed with Halo 5 and Halo King Infinite. 343 shit the bed. That's the only game I know you for. No other game. And I thought Hi-Fi Rush was developed by fucking nobody. And it just came out of nowhere. Because I didn't pay attention for this shit. It just comes out of nowhere. That Tango Gameworks, aka a team that Xbox bought or owned, did this. Good shit by Xbox, by Tango. Bad shit by Xbox. Good shit by Tango. That's a correction, by the way. But what? We gave you all the money in the basket, and you want to cut off the pieces that were making you the basket. Oh my God. They gave you all the pieces to make the basket. You want to break, but you want to cut the stems of the basket off to expose and find nothing.
Buy all of you, but not enough money to keep you. Actually, JK, we do have money to open a brand new sweatshop a week after closing 4 stores.
It just gets worse. It just gets worse. It just keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse. I can't keep doing this. I'll lose my fucking mind.
studios. What the fuck is happening? As we look to the future, there's an impressive lineup of games on the horizon. In 2024 alone, we have DLC, new game, DLC. I love how Matt doesn't even mention Hellblade 2, a game that Microsoft isn't promoting at all and releases in like now. As we look to the
releases
future,
in like
impressive lineup
now
of games on the horizon. There sure is.
There sure is. DLC, dead franchise. Who the fuck gives a fuck about Indiana Jones? I ain't ever seen a single soul give a fuck about Indiana Jones.
Excited for that Perfect Dark reboot. Oh, Perfect Dark reboot. Still in.
It just keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse. How?
Very rough state. A big protracted mess. But I'm sure a new trailer for Fable is coming around the corner. I mean, that was one of my favorite RPGs on the original.
She looks ugly.
Xbox. Development is slow due to Playground's inexperience with RPGs. Fantastic.
It's fantastic.
What about State of Decay 3? That's looking pretty good. Is troubled development with State of Decay 3? Okay.
Oh boy, it's just getting old at this point.
Rare. They're working on something new, right? Don't expect Rare's.
How can you fuck up this badly? How can you fuck up this badly? It's just, I can't comprehend it.
Gorgeous new IP to launch anytime soon. It's been rebooted. Okay. Microsoft owns Obsidian. And Obsidian always comes in clutch. I bet their new game is coming. Avowed has been rebooted several.
I can't understand. I just can't stand. Oh my god. The fuck ups are getting out of hand. Yo, never have I seen a person get more fucked up than when I watch Yuji, when I watch fucking JJK, or fucking that one when I watch JJK, and that's really it. Or Kengan Ashura, where some of the niggas were getting beat up. Never have I seen someone get more fucked up beyond this point. And time again, they hit their head at the nail of the wall. All this money, boundless money, I will say, by the way. $1 trillion company, owns Windows, owns Activision Blizzard. You guys haven't made a game that I can actually hear in the mainstream. And God knows how long. I look at PlayStation, I'm like, I can count. God of War. They made a DLC that was free recently. We have God of War, Stellar Blade. You know, this game that's supposed to come out pretty soon. Or did it come out? The Spider-Man shit. That shit's been popping. I heard a lot about that. And really, that's it. That's all. Really, that's all I need to hear. I haven't heard anything other than those 3 games. And people say those games are fan-fucking-tastic. God of War is amazing. All these games are amazing. PlayStation is making hit after hit after hit. And some of these games that are coming out are really fucking good. My problem is, how the fuck are you having problems? I don't see how you can have problems. You own Windows. You own Xbox. How the hell can you have problems? You're fucking Microsoft. You guys just make shit for a living? Shit for a living? What the hell is going on here?
Several times. Now you know why Matt Booty is saying they have incredible games on the horizon, but lists 3 DLCs and 1 game. But speaking of Fable, remember when Microsoft shut down Lionhead Studios and they were like, it was one of the biggest missteps.
We acquired Lionhead in 2006.
Wow, we're really stupid. Wow, these guys are so dumb.
Shut it down in 2016. A couple years later, we reflected back on that experience. What did we learn? How do we not repeat our same mistakes?
Then you've learned nothing.
What makes
You've learned nothing. Oh, they've learned fucking nothing. They've learned fucking nothing. It's like coming home with like bad grades, getting your ass beat, and then coming back home with bad grades and not expecting the same results. You guys are doing the definition of insanity.
Makes someone a failure is not the act of failing, but learning nothing from it. You have learned nothing.
Yes.
With all the studio shutdowns. Xbox leadership continues to fail, learn nothing, and keep making the same mistakes decade after decade. Splatoon is a great example of how if you foster a sleeper hit, it can become an enormous franchise all on its own.
See? Make a good game. All of a sudden, it's fucking big. They were making a Hi-Fi Rush sequel. Come on!
At Xbox, if you make a sleeper hit, they fire you. If buying games doesn't support the studio, give me one good reason to buy a single Microsoft game ever again. Well said. Does Xbox even remember how the PS3 managed to pull ahead? Remember when Uncharted 2 was such a sensation that gave back the prestige Sony needed to make their console a necessity? Notice how there's a 2? Because Naughty Dog was allowed to make a sequel that was a bigger hit. It's funny you say that because the real reason Tango was shut down is because they were pitching a sequel and wanted to hire more staff. What you...
Oh my god. It's like, the game would have been so good. It's like, we'll most likely never see the game again. It's like, man, the game was going to be fan-fucking-tastic. We'll never see it again, by the way. Never. Ever.
Say... that you only meant well. According to an article from Jason Schreier,
you can't get me demonetized.
A sequel. Matt Booty praised Hi-Fi Rush, but did not specify why the studio was shut down. Booty said that the company's studios had been spread too thin, like
they wanted to have more employees. What the hell are you talking about?
Peanut butter on bread.
I feel thin, sort of stretched, like...
Look at that money. I'm just done. I've lost all my luster to speak about this.
Booty added that the shutdown of Arcane Austin was not connected to the performance of Redfall. So we have two polar opposites. We have a complete flop.
There's no way. Redfall fucking shot the bed. And this game was supposed to come out with a sequel. And it was probably going to be awesome, by the way.
And we have a critically acclaimed borderline masterpiece. Both studios behind them are shut down. And it's not because of how they performed? Jason writes, both Tango and Arcane were looking to hire additional staff as they pitched new projects, which Booty and Braff suggested was the main factor behind their closures. Just further evidence.
The fact that you guys do not trust fucking Shinji Mikami, you know, one of the best game developers ever, by the way. Hey. To make you even more, bro, he was going to line your pot of gold. There's no way I wasn't going to play a Hi-Fi Rush 2. And I was probably going to buy the first one. You would have had my money. And everyone else's. Everyone else that thought Hi-Fi Rush was good already. You would have had their money at a Hi-Fi Rush 2. The first game was so good that it would have been awesome. It could have been amazing. It could have been amazing. Oh my god. The fact that I'll never probably see this game again unless these motherfuckers somehow get together and make a new game with or claim the IP or something, unlikely. We're never gonna see a Hi-Fi Rush 2.
of how
I'm
disposable
really sad
you
about
are
that.
if you work for Microsoft. I've already talked about the massive fucking contracting issues they have with hiring staff and not keeping them on long enough to learn the engine and code that they're working with on a game. But Jesus, man. The massive Activision Blizzard acquisition has ramped up scrutiny on the Xbox division from leaders at Microsoft. Bingo! Ding, 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 ding!
We found it! Oh, we found it! We found it! We found it! That's obviously the answer.
It's time to cut costs so that our profit margins, if we have any, look better. Because that's...
Yes, because cutting the only studio that was making you masterpieces was smart.
all we're in charge of. So basically, these studios were closed to save money and the asses of Xbox leadership. That's the real answer.
Yeah.
The only explanation that makes any sense.
The workers here need to know they ain't ever getting out of that hole they dug themselves into. This world is sick, dark, sad.
How
Xbox
true
promised
does he have
support
to
less
be?
sprawling creative titles like Hi-Fi Rush with smaller budgets and lower sales expectations. It didn't matter if a game sold tens of millions of copies as long as it helped bolster the Game Pass library. And herein lies the fatal flaw with Microsoft's strategy.
They continue to push the Game Pass. Stop. The Game Pass is useless. No one buys it. It's been declining as time goes on. You have more of a reason to pick up a PlayStation than ever before.
Are no longer interested in developing high-quality games that sell well. They're only interested in boosting their main source of income, Game Pass. Now, Don't get me wrong. I love Game Pass. It's great for consumers. And I'm not criticizing the concept of Game Pass. What I'm criticizing is the all-in bet on it. This strategy is not resulting in best-selling games.
It's not a good idea. It's not. It's like putting all your marbles in a basket and the basket has a hole in it.
There seems to be no standard of quality at Microsoft with their first-party titles, and they're sacrificing other means of revenue to funnel everything down a single lane.
You acquire a studio for what they're great at now.
Please get out. Please stop sliding through your fucking teeth, you fucking idiot.
Your job is to help them accelerate how they do what they do, not
show a
them
Hi-Fi
accelerate
Rush
what
and
you
a
do.
Looks like Phil had a change of heart, because now all that matters is what can you bring to Game Pass. So some of you...
Alright. We're going to end this off here. I'm going to come back and do this later. I'm going to come back when I have more energy to fucking yell at Xbox. You know what? Let's keep going.
You are watching this video and you might be thinking, well, actman, that's just business. You shut down the studios and departments that aren't making you money. That's just how it is. We don't like it, but what can you do? Well, let's analyze Microsoft's strategy for making money off of Hi-Fi Rush, a new IP with zero brand recognition.
Zero. That shit came out of fucking nowhere.
Is shadow dropped without any marketing. Literally, the marketing budget for Hi-Fi Rush was
zero.
2 cents.
Alright, I'm back. I got my back. 2 cents. Bro, there was no marketing budget.
It's put on Game Pass the same day it comes out, so we're not getting massive sales, but subscriptions, and it was hardly promoted at all after this, but it spread like wildfire because of word of mouth. This is also besides the point that Microsoft had an opportunity to show this game just a few months prior at the 2022 Game Awards, but they were completely absent there.
It's a bad sign when there were more Muppets at the Game Awards than Xbox World Premieres.
So, in my humble opinion, for all intents and purposes, Hi-Fi Rush was at worst set up to fail, and at best was given no help from
no
Microsoft.
help at all.
And yet,
that's why I released silently.
Factors, it was a
still
breakout
succeeded.
hit in every key metric. If you want to argue that Hi-Fi Rush didn't make enough money and that's why they had to shut the studio down, that fault is 1,000% on Microsoft. Leadership fucks up and the talent gets axed. This is why Xbox's current business model of all-in bet on Game Pass is not sustainable long term. There's a great post.
I hope someone brings that team together. Like, I hope someone can like bring that team together and they can still make a Hi-Fi Rush 2 or something. Because that's a good game. I hope they can bring it. I hope, but I know my coins aren't going to be good. The cards aren't
so
good.
Pause if you want to read it all. But here's a highlight. The biggest paradox with Game Pass is that basically every game that launches on the service badly misses its sales goals.
No
sense,
shit.
Though. Why pay full price to buy a game when you can play it for free as part of your subscription?
True.
Microsoft says it needs games like Hi-Fi Rush the day after killing its studio. I can't do this anymore, man.
I can't do
this.
this.
Games that give us prestige and awards. This is the guy in charge of Xbox.
I can't do this no more. What is he talking about? The hypocrisy. You had something special. Then you blew it up.
What is he saying and doing? Again, look at Capcom. They are soaring right now because of video game sales. So what's the plan, Microsoft? You gonna keep gambling? You gonna push COD onto Game Pass? Are you going to risk the guarantee?
Are you going to risk blowing up Activision Blizzard? Are you going to risk blowing up Call of Duty? Oh my god.
Consistent sales of Call of Duty to boost subscribers for Game Pass? That's risky. In the eyes of Xbox, it seems like the efforts of an individual studio is not important. It doesn't matter
it's
how
not
much
important
your game
at all.
sells or how prestigious
This
and
your
critically
game,
acclaimed
you was
it is.
good.
What matters is your contribution to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Did you move the needle a little bit?
Did you move the needle a little bit? Did you make us more money to line our pot of gold? Did you ever think that fucking Hi-Fi Rush's sales would ever be worth any more than what they be on Game Pass? The game is basically set up to fail. You put this shit on Game Pass, no marketing, yet the game spreads so well, it's ridiculous. Bro, almost every one of my content creators I was really watching was playing that game. How do you fuck it up?
This sounds like communism. Not enough? No, these awards aren't enough.
Yep, not enough. What is this? Kakuzi Fugashira or something? I can't see. This isn't enough. This. Look at it. It's all W's. How is it not enough?
Where's the award for most Game Pass subscriptions driven? So again, by focusing so much on Game Pass and accessibility, Microsoft is putting their games on Steam. Game Pass applies to PC as well. They're launching their exclusive titles also on PlayStation and other consoles, so there's no real exclusive.
There's no real exclusive anymore. That's why I've never had like any mental state of, does Xbox make an exclusive? No, they don't. They don't got a God of War. They don't got a Spider-Man. I've never heard of a single Xbox exclusive thing. Never. Ever. Never. Ever. It's like, I didn't even think Hi-Fi Rush was owned by Xbox.
For Xbox anymore. Everything is multi-platform now, so there's no particular reason to buy a Series X, which is driving down sales of the console.
Look at this shit. This was their peak. This is their failure. Xbox One, Xbox Series X. Low sales. How the fuck do you barely beat Xbox? And then look at this. Xbox One and Xbox 360 doing good. What Xbox Series X has barely more sales than Xbox 360. Than the Xbox, I mean.
So it's not looking good. I feel like now is a good time to dismantle the bullshit marketing for the Series X being the world's most powerful console, because almost no game is capable of taking advantage of its specs. Hey Phil, how come Starfield only runs at 30 frames? Starfield running at 30 FPS on Series X was a creative choice. Trust not limited by our commitment to the Series S at all. There hasn't been a killer app for the Series X, and if there has, you can play it somewhere else. See, Microsoft's biggest advantage back in the day was that they knew software really well. So with the original Xbox, all they had to do was make a console that worked with the software they had. This made it much easier to develop games on the Xbox.
At that time.
Wow. It's like, that's game. It's like, this game could have been, it's like, oh. It's like, we actually made a fucking console. It was actually good. Wow. We actually made a good console. How?
Japanese game consoles had very proprietary chipsets, and they just didn't work very well for Western developers. What the DirectX group was proposing was, there's a better way to do this. We're going to use PC architecture that you're familiar with, which is just going to work out of the gate, so they could spend more time crafting and building their games.
They had an incredibly developer-friendly story. You already know how to write these games. If you've written them for PC, you can write them for console as well.
This is no longer the case with the Series
At
X.
all.
Like I said, all these fucking games are delayed, rebooted, or whatever. Arguably, what was Microsoft's biggest technical advantage in breaking into the console market is now killing them, because Microsoft requires feature parity between the Series X and Series S. Tell me how this is the world's most powerful console when every game has to be designed for hardware that's weaker. Remember when Baldur's Gate 3 came out and there was some confusion about why it wasn't on Xbox? That's because split-screen co-op didn't work on Series S.
You mean to tell me split-screen co-op couldn't work on a Series S? Oh, I'm just done. I'm genuinely done with Phil Spencer and Xbox.
I'm getting deja vu here, huh? Because
Deja
of this
vu.
careless oversight and estimating Baldur's Gate 3 to be worth like $5 million, Microsoft...
$5 million? This was like, isn't this like Game of the Year game? It's a fucking masterpiece. $5 million? Who's the marketing? Who estimated it would be worth $5 million? They might be the stupidest fucking idiots. Do they not see Baldur's Gate fucking taking a fat shit on every game behind it?
Microsoft missed out on the first 4 months of sales for the 2023 Game of the Year. What are we doing?
Yeah, I thought they were Game of the Year. It's not really surprising. How do you miss out?
What are we doing?
What
they
are we
only
fucking
made an
doing?
exception 3 weeks after launch because they saw the game explode and thought, uh-oh, we fucked up again. Again, what's the point of owning the world's most powerful console if every game has to be reduced in size, scale, scope,
effect,
fidelity, technically,
all of it.
everything, to run on weaker hardware? I understand wanting to offer gamers a cheaper alternative to the Series X, but in hindsight, it's fucking stupid because you cheapen the experience on the premium console in the quest for accessibility.
Basically, instead of buying the PS4 Pro, and getting the Pro effects, you bought the PlayStation, and the PS4 Pro has to suffer for people so that PS4 players can have the same things.
Here's a head scratcher for you. Why did people stick around with the Xbox 360 despite it being one of the faultiest consoles ever created? Because the games were good. Pick any year of game releases for the 360 and it will far surpass whatever we have seen on the Series X. Xbox used to be a huge innovator. Tell me what the Series X has innovated in. Backwards compatibility?
Sure. Backwards compatibility? Yeah, you can play a lot of previous Xbox 360 games. That's it, by the way.
Sure, a bit, but we had that on the 360 too. Microsoft
We did.
is not innovating with video
At least I now know.
games. They are innovating how you consume them. Now,
Yep.
I could go in depth with Redfall about how every major red flag was ignored by leadership at ZeniMax, leadership at Arcane Austin, and leadership at Xbox.
Three groups of people couldn't go, this is a bad game. Let's not make this.
I could talk about how this game never should have been released in the
It
state
shouldn't
that
have.
it was. But
What the fuck is that?
brain is genuinely starting to hurt. Phil constantly talks about how he's not going to push against the creative direction of his studio.
Shut the hell up. Why don't you push against the creative studios? Nigga, you did. Shut the fuck up.
And I can respect that. However, you can't be an absent father and just let the kids fucking do whatever they want. Somebody has
It's almost like when you do that, things get fucked.
to step in and say, we need a Slayer playlist for Halo. What the fuck is going on with Redfall? Okay, we lost 70% of our staff and everybody that remains wants the game to be canceled. Okay, we'll cancel it. Somebody has to come in and make the big decisions, okay? Instead, Redfall was promoted as a major first-party title and Hi-Fi Rush wasn't. What's the standard?
If Hi-Fi Rush got even an ounce of promotion, it would have blown up so much more. It's been ridiculous.
Anymore. Everything I've just said has been building to what I'm about to say now. If there's
Tell me
anything
what you
I
got.
want you to take away from this video, it's this. Microsoft is a software company. They produce software. They do not produce entertainment. They buy entertainment and sell it like it's software. Video games are entertainment.
Entertainment, not
Technically, they are
software. So when they make Microsoft is a software company, they bought entertainment thinking they can do well with entertainment.
But Microsoft no longer has the ability to cultivate or establish successful long-term franchises on their own. Instead, they
keep rebooting and things don't
rely
go well.
on buying them, on buying IPs with
They've
loads
bought,
of promise before
bought.
inevitably running them into the ground and shelving them forever. They've been
Yep. At some point, I expect Activision Blizzard to get the same treatment. After like 20 or so years, Activision Blizzard is cooked.
doing this since at least 2008. If you want your franchise to die, sell it to Microsoft.
True.
They've killed every golden goose they've ever got their hands on, and they will kill yours too. The big difference between now and back then is Microsoft knew how to promote a game. They would cough up the dough. They had a keen business sense for what would do well and how to promote it. They would push back creatively to figure out what was most important in a game.
It's like if they did this now for something like Hi-Fi Rush or some of their Xbox titles and didn't put them on the Game Pass, they would have made so much money. Their pockets would be lined in a pot of gold.
You can see this in the Gears of War.
I'm not even discarding Hi-Fi Rush real quick. The game's good, and it came out basically silently, and was good. People played it. Lots of people played it. Then they had to cut the stick, and then they had to cut the stick on the camel's back. But if it got even an ounce of fucking press, an ounce, I would be so much bigger than it was. I imagine every YouTuber I knew would have been playing it.
Behind the scenes videos. They push back on things like the Chainsaw Lancer to see how important it is to the developers. It's like, yes, the Chainsaw Lancer was real fucking important. We need it. Oh, okay. All right. You can have it. It's like a test to see how confident a studio is in their vision, what they think is important. In my opinion, the role of a public...
You need to be fired. You need to be fired. Phil Spencer needs to be fired. You and almost every high grand executive that thought that killing Tango Gameworks was a great idea needs to be fired.
Publisher is
You're
to push on
fired!
creative decisions to find where the gold is. Where are the golden ideas? Everything worked out for Gears 1, but that's partially because Microsoft was taking an active interest in the game, promoting it as a killer app. I do not see or hear about this level of involvement with Xbox leadership anymore. Not interference, not involvement, absence. So in conclusion, these studio shutdowns, isolated, aren't a big deal. It's when you look at the bigger picture that you understand how bad things are right now for Xbox. And you know,
They have no big title. None. Zero. How? Nothing. PlayStation's been hitting it out the park. Left, right, center. They have no big title. None. No big title. It's like, do you guys know what you guys are doing? Do you know how stupid you are? Like, everyone, CEO, president, whoever they may be on that board of directors needs to be fired.
Xbox, but I've been wanting it to get back on track for over a decade.
That's
You say
never
you
gonna
hate
happen.
Disappointing Xbox fans, but you disappointed me, Phil. And I'll continue to root for you guys and hope you do the right thing. And I'm just one guy, but I grew up with Xbox. And I can't tell you what it is anymore. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. It was a bit nihil.
Go follow this guy. You know, my man Actman. Go follow him. You know, he's good. I'm done. It's been an hour, 10 minutes of rage, induced anger, sadness. Like, I've never been more pissed. I've never been more pissed at one studio. How do you fuck up? How do you fuck up a golden goose that was going to get a ton of money? Hi-Fi Rush 2 was most certainly going to make money. There was no way it wasn't. Most certainly. It had all that press, all that good press, and they just fuck it up. It's like, why? How do we drop the can of gold that we created and cultivated? How? I can't understand it, and I may well never be. Peace.